Even after the first round of US-Iran negotiations in Islamabad concluded without a final agreement, diplomatic engagement has not stopped, with technical teams and subject matter experts continuing discussions on the sidelines, according to diplomatic sources. Pakistani officials have remained actively engaged in facilitation efforts, and that ongoing contact has now led to an invitation for a second round of meetings between the two sides. Sources also indicate that U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance acknowledged that progress had been made during the process, while U.S. President Donald Trump separately said the other side had shown willingness to make a deal and had approached Washington. Despite the absence of a breakthrough, diplomatic channels remain open, with Pakistan continuing to urge calm, restraint, and further dialogue. Officials have also suggested that renewed engagement could take place as early as Thursday, depending on logistical arrangements. At the same time, global and regional reactions to the talks and the wider conflict have intensified. French President Emmanuel Macron has called for urgent de-escalation, saying he spoke with both Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian and U.S. President Donald Trump. He urged both sides to quickly return to negotiations and stressed the need to resolve misunderstandings and avoid further escalation. Macron also reiterated that any ceasefire framework must include Lebanon and called for the unimpeded reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, saying negotiations should resume rapidly with the support of key regional actors. Qatar has also weighed in on the crisis. The Qatari Foreign Ministry rejected claims of any special agreement with Iran and confirmed that Iranian strikes had continued during the war until the ceasefire took effect. Doha said it is still too early to focus on long-term solutions regarding the Strait of Hormuz, arguing that priority should remain on ending the fighting. It also emphasized that historically there has been no issue in the strait and called instead for attention to sustainable security and safe navigation. Qatari officials also confirmed that messages are still being exchanged between Iran and Pakistan following the Islamabad talks, indicating that diplomatic communication remains active even after the first round ended. On the security front, tensions continue to escalate in multiple theaters. In Lebanon, Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar said Hezbollah remains the central obstacle between Israel and Lebanon, ahead of U.S.-mediated discussions in Washington involving Israeli and Lebanese representatives. Sa'ar claimed Israel is seeking peace and normalization with Lebanon, arguing that Hezbollah is the core security challenge for both countries. However, violence on the ground has continued. Israeli media reported that 11 Israeli soldiers were injured in a drone attack in Bint Jbeil in southern Lebanon. Separately, at least one Palestinian was killed in Beit Lahia in northern Gaza, while casualties were also reported after an Israeli strike on a police vehicle in Gaza City's Al-Nafik Street, underscoring continued hostilities in multiple fronts. Economic markets have also reacted sharply to the geopolitical developments. European equities fell as uncertainty deepened after the breakdown of US-Iran negotiations and renewed concerns over the Strait of Hormuz. The pan-European stock 600 slipped in early trade, while Germany's DAX and the UK's FTSE 100 also declined. The downturn followed a rally in the previous week and came as oil prices surged above the $100 per barrel mark, reigniting inflation fears and highlighting market sensitivity to disruptions in Middle Eastern supply routes.